Welcome, everyone, to Football Diehards Weekly Optimizer with Jen Ryan. How you doing, Jen?
I'm doing good this morning. How are you, Emma?
Doing well. Now, of course, we have missed a few weeks. This is the week 20, which is, what is it, conference championship weekend?
It is championship weekend.
And before I forget, I want to also mention it came out this morning on the Fantasy Sports Writers Association that Jen Ryan is a finalist in the Best Fantasy Football Series this year. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's crazy to be nominated, especially when you look at, some of the names on this list. So I am beyond flattered.
Wonderful. Well, I hope you win. I guess we'll
Thank
find
you.
out
Thank
sometime
you.
in the next week or two.
I think so, yeah. That's good enough for me just to be nominated. So
Sounds wonderful. Well, actually, you're nominated, but you're a finalist. And
finalist,
so
yes, yes.
it's worse than being nominated. You're actually a finalist. That's fantastic.
What could be worse? Winning.
Winning it. So anyway, this is an interesting weekend because we've got only 4 games left. So it's the last chance to play, DFS for football. So we only have 4 teams, and I already have the screen up here, which I'm not sure if you can see on your phone. And
Oh, yes, I could see it.
as we talked before, we're so it's a tough situation this week because you got to try and find some guys, some contrarian picks that you think may pop out of nowhere, but you don't want to leave yourself hanging. So, and I know one thing that you talked about earlier when I have it on the screen, and something we hadn't talked about before on our tool, is that you can put a limit of the number of times a player is used in your 20 options. We have a set for 20 right now. You can go up to 50. And you were suggesting Ben Roethlisberger.
I was suggesting kind of limiting Ben only because his home and road splits they're like notorious. I don't think we'll be the only ones limiting Ben, but I think some people will be fading him completely. So I do want some exposure to him, but you definitely don't want Ben in half your lineups just because the point differential that he puts up on the road as opposed to being at home is just too drastic.
Gotcha. So let's calculate this real quick because we had done this a little earlier. We cheated and actually did this one. Usually we ad-lib everything. You probably can't tell. I don't know. And anyway, if you notice the first lineup, it's Aaron Rodgers. And I apologize. I've got a frog in my throat that won't leave. Anyway, I'll flip all the way down to 20. This thing doesn't even include Ben Roethlisberger in any of the optimizer, which means we probably have him fairly low on our cheat sheet. So the system didn't allow him in on that particular thing anyway. Let me download these for us later. We'll put on the file in the article. So we got that set anyway, just in case. Now, one of the things I was suggesting is to lock Gabriel Taylor.
Taylor Gabriel, yes.
Taylor Gabriel,
I am 100% on board with that. And I think Bob Harris, I think in his article this week, he has Gabriel as one of the guys he's in on too. And I think he's just going to have a great opportunity this week. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's actually the highest over I've ever seen at 61 points. But the thing that I find most appealing about Gabriel is you have Julio Jones. He only practiced for the first time yesterday. They said he's going to be a go, but foot injuries are always tricky. I remember in the last game he sat out a couple plays because the foot was bothering him. And Gabriel, according to Pro Football Focus, has the easiest matchup in terms of wide receiver quarterback. So I kind of like Gabriel a lot this week, especially, with all those things I said, the point over and Julio being dinged up.
Yeah, I totally agree. Julio really worries me. He played well that way, but pulling him out like that, of course, they had a big lead. But that's, the last few weeks, it's very concerning. But even if he's there, it almost helps.
If it was a hand.
Pardon?
I said it would be different if it was a hand. If he had a broken finger, I'd be like, whatever, he'll be fine. But, you got to run on your feet. So, concerning.
A toe injury is pretty serious. So let's see, what else? Do you want to lock any other guys for a first run or a second run?
I would be curious what kind of results we get if we lock LeGarrette Blount. The reason I say that is when you have Deion Lewis coming off that 3-touchdown game, I think a lot of people will be all over it, and they might completely fade Blunt altogether. And we talk about, oh, it's a Blunt game, it's a Lewis game. I don't know that we necessarily ever know whose game it is, but I would like to pivot off Lewis and
Cool.
take a look at Blunt this week for
I
sure.
I like that. It's like I said, it's very tough. There's so much chalk out there, and with only 4 teams, and we love the New England Patriots for being completely. You just never know what they're going to do from week to week, especially the playoffs. So I like the Blunt idea. So now we got 2 guys locked. Let's just see. You want anybody else, or you want to try and run some numbers and see what happens?
Run some numbers, and then we could always go back and
All right.
fiddle with it.
We're going to run the calculator. All
There's
right,
our
let's
lock
see what we
guys.
got. And what do we got? We got our lock guys. It's got Cook. It's got New England's defense. It's got Aaron Rodgers. It's got Freeman. At least the first one.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you get so many still really solid running back options when you throw Blunt in. I mean, look at our first 2, Devontae and Le'Veon. You can't really go wrong there.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Le'Veon. He's in the second one, yes. All right, let me just flip through here, see if there's anything different. There's got to be differences. It probably ends up with defenses, etc. It's got Sanu in here in a few of these.
Yeah, the Sanu Gabriel stack is interesting, especially because we have Aaron Rodgers. So it's like we're almost covering ourselves. We're not going all in on the Falcons offense.
I don't want to ruin people's eyesight, but let me just flip them. I'm just going to see if Aaron is all the way down this thing. We have him ranked number 1 in our rankings, so it's not flipping Aaron at all. Which
I don't think we're alone in that.
Yeah, we may want to. Anyway, that's.
Now, if we wanted to
But
get
we
a little
could be contrarian.
diversity,
Let me download that. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I never know when to shut up.
Okay,
I was going to say,
fire away.
if we were looking for some diversity, especially if we're going to be downloading multiple lineups, we could try running it excluding Aaron Rodgers and seeing what comes up.
All right. So let's see. We go to running. We go to quarterbacks. We're back at the beginning. Where is the exclusion at? Actually,
Looks like Tom Brady. It looks like we might have excluded by mistake.
What did I do?
If you go to excluded players, it should come up.
Yeah. Sorry,
Come
Brady.
back, Tom.
Yeah. So what do? I undo that. Boy, that was mean of me. I must have just hit the button. Okay, so we're going to exclude.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So I hit the little minus
need
sign
him
on
this week,
Rodgers. And let's go down and hit the little calculate button. And go up to the top and see what we've got.
Keep in mind that still has Gabriel locked for us.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Tom.
Where did I must have accidentally unlocked Blunt. There's cockpit error here. Let me go back and wow, I tell you what. And I've had lots of coffee today, so I'm not really sure. What did he? So look at what did I do? Look at all these exclusions.
I don't know if that was you. I don't think that was you. I think that might have been a glitch.
Okay, there he is there. Okay, let's go run it again. Jeez. It is Saturday. I mean, Okay, there we are. So now it's got Roethlisberger for some reason at the top. Let's see if it limits him. So he's in 2. You got Ryan. Antonio Brown is in one of these.
There you go. Yeah, these Ryan lineups look really good with looks like some Steelers and Packers peppered in.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to download that one. Let's see. What else are you thinking?
I'm thinking that Jared Cook could flirt with almost 110% ownership. I mean, I just think
Super
everybody's going to ownership.
Yeah.
So I wonder, is there a guy? I mean, look at people who would have played Richard Rodgers last week. They would have capitalized on that. But is there even another tight end to consider? Should we be looking at Martellus Bennett maybe?
Yeah, that's another possibility. Did it go and for some reason it's being mean to me here.
It is.
It's a difficult one, and of course this is what everybody's doing. When you're trying to be contrarian and you're trying to, especially out of only 4 teams, it's hard to find. Jesse James has been doing well. I don't know if Ladarius Green's really going to play. We may not know till tomorrow morning. So if he does play, though, he may be somebody you could flip in at the last minute.
Sure. And then, I mean, even in his limited, playing time with the Steelers, it just seemed like there was designed pass plays for him. I don't think he was there to block. So if he plays, we definitely have to throw him in a couple. I think that's one of the best parts about the tool is downloading it because, you can mess around in here. You get the lineups. You kind of get a base at least. And then you can go into those downloads and really continue to tinker with it.
Yeah, I must be doing something funny because it's been excluding all sorts of players every time I run. Now, there's an interesting name right here. These two guys, Chris Hogan and Malcolm Mitchell. And unfortunately, as it just sits right now, I don't think Malcolm Mitchell has much of a chance of playing.
Right.
If he did, and Hogan was still questionable, he'd be a really fun play.
Totally.
Unfortunately, that's not the situation we're in right now, which is sad because I'd love to. That would be a nice angle that unfortunately doesn't exist. Okay, what did I do with this thing? I mean, I should pause this before I make myself embarrassed here.
I was just saying, maybe refresh it.
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so
if you look up top, I think maybe did you click on New England? Is that where?
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so cockpit error. Just for the users that they can see me doing stupid things, I accidentally clicked on New England, which excluded them. So this tool is working really well. You just have to have somebody who knows what they're doing, who's clicking the buttons. So, good. Lesson learned. Now let's see. We do have an exclusion. We do have Rodgers excluded, is what we did on purpose, right? Yay!
I think what other kind of lineups we would get.
Let's go run that now that I messed that up. Maybe we'll get some different results here.
The accidental New England's click.
Yeah. So, yeah, there we are. So it's a little bit different. You know, you have Tom Brady in there at the top.
Yeah. I do love that Devontae Blunt combination a lot. If if you don't want to pay up for Le'Veon Bell in certain lineups, which it'll be tough not to, that Devontae Blunt combination is pretty nice.
Cool. Let me. Did I save these real quick? Let me download those. I want to do something different too here. What if we excluded Julio?
Yeah, I would love to see what that kind of.
How do I exclude him? Hit this button here. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, let me get down. How do you recalculate here? I guess you recalculate there and it works. It's a nice way to do it. Did it keep him excluded? It did exclude Julio.
Excuse me.
And it looks
I think
like
it just gave me a cough.
Yeah, sorry about that. The internet is a mean thing sometimes. So here we got rid of Tom Brady when we excluded Julio. We got Cobb now. And Brady went off that first lineup. Whoops, just a second. I'm scrolling down the wrong one here. Roethlisberger. You have Edelman. Interesting. There's a few different things here. Sanu keeps popping up here and there. Any defense that you think we should try and be contrarian on?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this a little bit. Defense is so tricky this week because it's terrifying to play the Falcons or the Packers defense, just, because the points in that game are going to be crazy. I think New England is what we'll call the chalk. I almost wonder if it'd be interesting to throw Pittsburgh in there just to kind of see what we get. But
yeah, let's try that.
And I feel like in at least one lineup, I'll have to go with either the Packers or the Falcons, but it almost feels like suicide, to be honest with you.
Well, something's going to happen weird. And
a special teams touchdown that'll come out of nowhere and
make some points. Green Bay is in such a zone right now, but they've got all these injuries. It's always possible, but Rodgers doesn't make very many mistakes. It would have to come on if Atlanta's defense special teams was to do well, it may be like a return or some fluky fumble. I don't expect Rodgers to throw an interception for a touchdown. But if they get behind, blah, blah, blah. Trying to predict Which defense is going to do well? So we got Pittsburgh locked in. I'm not sure if that. Well, we've got Tom Brady back when we locked Pittsburgh's defense in, so it gave us some money, a little extra money there.
Sure. Yeah, I actually wanted to check defensive pricing to kind of see. Yeah, you have Atlanta as the cheapest defense too. Pitt, the number 2 defense in terms of pricing, but the pricing is all so close. You know,
gave
Green
us a
Bay,
little bit of money, but not much.
now you're looking at a few $100s. I mean, the difference between Green Bay and 4,000 and New England at 4,400, you're talking $400, but it could be crucial $400 sometimes.
Yep. Let's do. Let's make one. Well, we can make a lot of changes, but let's go to running back. Excuse me, and let me just for the heck of it, let's go chalky with Montgomery, assuming he's chalk. But,
And Le'Veon, I would think.
Let's see. Let's do a double. Let's see if we can even get a lineup with those 2 guys, huh? Let's see here. Calculate. All right. So now we have. Well, there's some lineups there. You know, you got Randall Cobb and Sanu as other receivers, and we probably still have Julio locked out. Well, I love Brady here. Let me do this correctly here. Let me grab the wrong scroll. There's Ryan, Montgomery, Cook's coming.
Jared Cook. Yeah, we just keep seeing him.
Keep seeing Cook show up. So there's enough money for that. And there's Edelman. We don't see him a lot. He could be big.
Yeah, of course. Especially, FanDuel, you only get the half a point, but if Edelman catches 11 balls, those half a points rack up.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I never give much consideration to kicker, but I'm seeing all this Mason Crosby and Matt Bryant. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Just got to hope they hit a 55-yarder or a few of them.
Those are always nice.
Yeah.
And here's Goskowski later down in here. Let me go to the very bottom just to see what it is. There's Bennett again. Wow. All right. Well, we've hit that a little bit. Do you have any other quirky ideas you want to try?
I mean, I can't really say anything in particular. The only other sort of quirky thing, and you and I briefly touched on this when we spoke earlier, is the whole debate between LeGarrette Blount and Dion Lewis. Who do you play? Which one do you go with? Might be interesting to see what we get if we lock them both in and just sort of play the New England backfield, which of course means James White will score, but
on one catch.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try that. We have Dion Lewis and LeGarrette Blount. Do you want to keep Julio locked out, or you want to bring him back? I
almost wondered what we would see with just those 2.
Okay, for some reason he was. Okay, let's see what else we have. You wanted me to unlock Gabriel or keep him locked?
God, I love him so much this weekend, but maybe
we can leave him in.
We'll keep. Yeah.
All right. So and let me go back to defenses, and we'll unlock we'll keep that clean, and now let's go hit the button and see what we get. All right. So there we are. So we've locked 3 players. And you're getting Julio Jones.
Wow. And Matt Ryan. Wow.
Yeah. That's not a bad lineup.
No, and it's almost like just at first glance, obviously, at this first lineup, it's, okay, you lock down New England's backfield, avoid New England everywhere else. And the defense. I love that pairing with the running backs and the New England defense.
Defense, yeah, okay. Interesting. Did I download that one? Let me make sure I did it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure when we're done that I'm going to go on the website and find that particular build right there, because I kind of like it based off just the first lineup.
All right, let me see if there's any other bizarre thing we can do. So there's, quarterback. Of course, we've got, let me go unlock Rodgers now. We had Rodgers unlocked. Gee, I wonder if we'd done that. Let's see what it did with Rodgers unlocked. Because he is the highest value quarterback, so we may not. Well, we get him anyway. But what happens with the Rodgers here? You still get Julio Jones.
Look at that. You get the entire New England backfield and the entire Atlanta Falcons receiving corps.
And the kicker to boot. I'm sorry, you get Green Bay's kicker.
That's why I always say it's important to hop into Excel when you're done and kind of toy around a little bit. But a lineup like that still is kind of fun because if the New England running backs hit and the Atlanta receivers hit, then you had a crazy lineup hit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's tough. There's so few teams. It's really tough. Let me do one other quirky thing I just thought of. Let's go Le'Veon Bell, and let's don't take Freeman. Let's take his buddy, Tevin Coleman, just to see what happens.
Oh yeah.
I think, and I still want Tyler Gabriel or Gabriel Tyler, whichever his name is. By the way, I'm dyslexic, so that's why I do stupid things like that. I flip things around. Okay,
I think I'm dyslexic too, so there you go.
You probably got that over the internet also from me.
Definitely.
Okay, so we have Coleman, we have Bell, and we have Gabriel. And I think everything else is free, is not locked. And so we're not getting Julio Jones. Probably spent too much money on Bell to get Julio in this first lineup, which doesn't upset me.
No, and I think our optimizer, whether we want to resist it at all or not, they're just going to keep giving us Jared Cook, and I think we have to go with it. I really do.
Yeah, let me do one more if I don't do too many. I'm just really tempted to... Let me do one more. We're getting up above 20 minutes here. So I'm going to lock Antonio Brown just to see where he falls with this other locks that we have. Did it hit did I get the calculation butt hitting? I obviously didn't hit it hard enough.
It's so easy to get lost in here and just continue, just do it and do it.
It's what a heck of a tool.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so what do we got? We have 4 players locked. What are we left with? We still get Rodgers.
And that contrarian tight end right there.
Yeah, we're getting the contrarian tight end. That's where we're losing out. And well, you get Bennett in this lineup. Look at this lineup.
Wow. And Sanu. I mean, Sanu didn't he score last week? I think he got a handful of targets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, he did pretty well. So these are interesting. You get a lot of Rodgers. I'm going to flip through here real quick. I apologize for everybody. Let's just see.
Oh, no, that's fine. I saw Austin Hooper's name pop up, too.
Oh, yeah, there he is right there in lineup 10. Yeah, now he's a definite contrarian because, he didn't do much last week. I think he caught one ball for a touchdown or something stupid. Or maybe it was just one ball for, he could end up doing well. But he'd be definitely contrarian because he's been out for a while, and he's a rookie, et cetera, et cetera. But that's what you're looking for.
Tournament play.
Yeah, total tournament play. Yeah. So that's Rodgers. That's Hooper. Okay. Well, I didn't go all the way down. Let me just go down here. I'm not sure what it's changing out of 20. It's changing something. Oh, it's got a different kicker there, and you got.
It looks like the kicker in that extra,
Boswell.
Unlocked wide receiver position.
Yeah, do you believe Boswell last week? What did he end with? An insane number of points. I think he'd be.
I know.
This week I'll probably get two extra points, and they'll go for a 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter.
I read that they were the first playoff team to win without scoring a touchdown when the other team scored a touchdown. I mean, is that unbelievable or what?
Yeah, wouldn't have predicted that one, that's for sure.
No.
Let's see. Let me make sure I downloaded this one. Well, it looks like we got some pretty good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like I have to cancel my plans this afternoon because I have to go through all these downloads now. I can't just leave them there. I have to, I have to look at them and see what's going on.
Let's hope my computer doesn't crash like 3 weeks ago. We got off the phone and my computer crashed and I lost everything on the file.
Oh.
Well, actually, I got it back after like 4 days, but it was too late to post the article, obviously. It was over the weekend. Wonderful. Any other ideas?
I think I'm tapped out, and that's, I think a lot of it's just the slate. 4 games is so tough. It's so tough to kind of get creative, but thankfully the optimizer helps out with that.
Yes, definitely. It's a really helpful tool to figure out these difficult situations with only 4 teams. Well, wonderful. Well, congratulations on your making the finals for the best fantasy football series article.
Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say. It's very cool to be nominated. Lots of big names in there.
Well, there's I forget this year. I'm the vice president of the Writers Association. I've been in with it since its beginning. And there is, I don't know, there's like 900 articles that are submitted. Some of them series, you have to enter 3 articles, and Writer of the Year, you have to enter like 3 or 4 articles. So, I don't know how many total people were nominated, but obviously the field of fantasy football writers and fantasy sports writers in general is very large and very, very talented people, and you're one of them.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And obviously, thanks for bringing me on,
Yep.
2 years ago?
I guess so. Time flies. Time flies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to next year. I was actually disappointed that the season is about to end. I don't know why. Probably because the magazines are coming up, and it's one of the more brutal times is doing the magazines.
I'm excited for the magazines. I understand where you're coming from. It's tough, but I'm excited for the magazines.
Yeah, I'm already starting to think of some ideas, so that'll be great. Well, wonderful. We'll enjoy the games, even though Cowboys are not in it.
That's okay.
You'll probably be able to, won't be well, you're going to get your fingernails done, so you won't have to worry about biting them like crazy like last week.
That's right. I'm going for a manicure. There is no stress for football this week. Simply, gambling, playing the lines, so I can relax.
Wonderful. Great talking to you again. And
you as always, Emil. Thank you.
Enjoy the games tomorrow.
I will. Thank you.